insightful, but are you likable? You got jokes, you're the host, stand up. Are you likable?
Most painful thing, like when like a comic is like, it was a comic that I knew there, and I was like, you guys just hate me, and there was a comic in the back was just, she's mad supportive, she's like, I liked your stuff, and I was like, just fucking let me die in peace. You ever be eating it and somebody's being supportive and shit, and they're just like,
what was that?
oh, it's a spider.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you didn't react, it went right at you.
Yeah, dude, I mean, I'm keeping the cool, but I genuinely fucking, I mean,
That's crazy. I thought that was like a little ball or something.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
I mean, it's a small spider, you know.
Yeah, those are the most dangerous.
If I stay suspended in the air like this,
yeah,
he can't get me.
He can't get you. Yeah, that's what happens. Let me do the intro here. Hello and welcome to Likable, a show where we discuss stand-up comedy from an entry-level perspective. I'm your host, David Stickle. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Josh Tinley.
What's going on? It's my camera.
That's your camera right there.
How's it going? What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
How you doing?
Yeah, Josh, very funny person.
You're funny. I love your stuff.
Thank you. Dude, you're too kind.
Yeah, that's why we're here, man.
Dude, you're like one of the hardest working comedians I know.
Dude, you know what's funny? People say that. Nobody ever says funny. Nobody.
Oh, stop. You're definitely funny.
That guy, he works really hard, that guy.
Well, you know what kills me is like, you'll see, like, I'm sure, you know, because I mean, you, like me, hustle to like a lot of different open mics. You'll see these comedians that are really funny, but they don't really do anything other than like their weekly open mic. And then they don't like, that kills me, man.
Yeah, they don't branch out of their own little network.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's good for like the first maybe couple of years. But then once you get into the like, all right, well, like you get the new guys who come in. And then the new guys, you got the new guys, the newer guys, and they're just like, oh yeah, the newer guys are talking to the new guys, and now they're talking about you. They're like, oh yeah, that guy, that guy's been here since whatever older. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy where everybody knows it's just like, oh yeah, he's a New Jersey legend, quote unquote. Dude, that's the worst thing you could be, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, there's something wrong with like New Jersey or your scene, but why not do that on a bigger level? Because that's how you really level up, I feel like.
For sure. I went up to Albany on Thursday.
Yeah, okay.
And they were like, we got a special treat. Dave Stickle's here. And I was like, oh my God, a special treat. Like, ooh, it made me feel so good.
Nah, that's dope. That's always really dope, because it means people are watching you. People seeing the work that you're doing, and it's not going like all this. You may just be doing it because you like it, but like people are seeing the work that you're doing, and like it's not going for granted, you know.
Well, I used to pop up there a little bit more, and then just like Thursdays turned into like me just exploring other places, you know. But now my Mondays are gonna be like New York Mondays. I'm gonna try and
I've been going. We should hit up the city together. Dude. I've been going to New York every Monday. Or Sundays if I can't go Mondays. I've been going to New York.
Same Sundays and Mondays are my days off now.
Yeah. That's the day. That's the days I've been going.
We're gonna be a little duo.
Dude, we should. I've been going. There's a guy, Raf Hernandez. I don't know if you ever met him.
He does the dojo, right?
Yeah. So I've been going with him, and then
sick.
We've been telling other people that we're going. Everybody's been like, we're gonna go, and nobody comes. So
where do you guys go on Mondays?
So we hit up Laughing Buddha, Harlem Nights. That was the last place that we hit up. We've been hitting up a bunch of other places like BK Comedy, Bushwick Comedy Club is really good. That was like a decent amount of, and they laughed. You know, people always say like, so when you get a good open mic, it's like a show. It was like a show. Bushwick was probably the better ones that we did. Just been hitting up different spots just to show them face. Yeah. And to be honest with you, quite frankly, I'm not doing new shit.
Same.
I'm going there and be like, hey, book me, please.
Yeah.
Because you're going to their practice with your game day jersey on. You're just like, and they're doing the same thing. You know, there's people who show up in Jersey and at the open mics and being like, oh yeah, let's fucking, they're doing like their best set, and it's just like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, they definitely do that when they come up here, for sure. Because if I see a random comic, because I get around a lot, if I see a random comic that I know from a different scene, they're doing like some of their best 5. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you're auditioning for producers in this room. Like, that's what you're.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you. You know, you want to
Listen.
make the most out of that trip.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
driving that far just to what? Try out a new bit.
Yeah.
And maybe if it's a good audience, maybe I might sandwich in a new bit that I like, feel because I'm comfortable. But most of the time, if I'm driving or going to the city, if I'm going anywhere and I know people may be watching, of course I'm doing my good stuff because I'm like, this is where I want to be booked at certain places, you know.
Hell yeah.
It was like that even for Rhino. It was like that for any other place because you don't want to, you want to make it worth your time, obviously. So.
Yeah. And you want to sharpen your stuff too.
Yeah.
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 Definitely helps.
Yeah. Do you have like, because I'm saying like, I mean, my A stuff, I always do my A stuff, right? But your B stuff, and then your kind of like B minus stuff, because I won't call it C, but B minus stuff. It's just
Stop branding.
It's just the stuff that doesn't that hits, but sometimes I look at the room and I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it in this room, or sometimes I just won't do it because I don't have that much time to do it. So like that's stuff also you can cycle in. Like even tonight, like I'm thinking about there's a show after this that I'm going to I'm gonna go to and I'm gonna just try out to do some of my B minus stuff because it's like it's not that I think that it's B minus it gets laughs, but it's just I don't do it because it's not in the forefront of like, all right, I can do this everywhere and I can, so like I keep that on a rotation and make sure that I can still do it, keep it fresh,
Yeah, and it's also like it's I mean, I'm sure you get this feeling sometimes, but it's also like, it kind of feels like a low pressure show. Now, I mean, what's cool is that you probably have enough material to where like if you get there and it's like a hot room and you get that little competitive little fire, you're like, all right, I'm gonna bring the A stuff.
Oh, dude. Yeah. There's a Stress Factory in New Brunswick. That's New Brunswick. It's like pretty sure they have one like in Connecticut and PA. That's where I started at. They just brought their mic back on Tuesdays, and I've been going every so now and often.
Cool.
And it's a type of room where Stress Factory. They bring I'm not sure if Albany's like this, where they have the name. When people see that they market it as a new talent night, but it's really open mic. When they market as that, people come out expecting kind of low quality, but they still expect to laugh. I go there and I fucking. And it's with all like I want to say like my crowd work is probably very hack, but they love this guy's engaged. He's like, but it's just me practicing being engaged in crowd work. But like I'm doing crowd work like, oh, what do you guys old? How old are you guys? I'm like, oh yeah, let me come stay in your basement or something. Like, can I come? Like I need a ride home. That's what I'm asking. It's like very hack crowd work, but it's my way of trying to work on crowd work.
Yeah.
And then I get to. Also, I'm trying to audition to get in that room, so I'm like, of course, I'm doing my A stuff. Like,
You want to get past.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, there's no like guarantee for any of that stuff, but it's like, also, it's like, yeah, I do hope that I just want to get past everywhere I go, or just be able to work anywhere, like to keep my options open. That's the main thing is to. And honestly, I don't know how many, do you have any break days? Do you have any days that you're like, yo, I'm going to chill today?
They're kind of forced upon me. And even then I have a hard time with it. Yeah. So like that's today. So I had the whole day off and I'm like, I'm going to hit the gym. I had a good workout, but then I booked you to come in here. And then I have Joe Alfano coming in here after.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to try and do 2 episodes today because I like having the podcast like kind of banked a little bit. So
and that's good.
Yeah. And like, this is just like hanging out for me, And,
No, it's cool. Like that you thought about, like, I'm happy that you thought about me when I was coming up here. I was like, all right, now I could just hit.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, like you came out to the Croak show last year. And my regret was like not getting a recording with you then,
Dude, honestly, the show is so awesome, dude. I fucking it's so hard to produce a good comedy show. I don't know if you have fun. Do you have fun running that room?
No.
Okay. No. Sure. Thank you for being honest, dude. I hate producing so much. And I feel like I've been producing since I've been taking comedy seriously. So like I was running a room in Central Jersey for about 3 years. And I was like on the side of like, I didn't have to pay for the venues, but my partner would pay for the venues. and it would be half music, half comedy. We would do comedy up front, and then the musicians would come and they would watch the comedy. And afterwards, they would do music. So
That's nice.
it was, and I was able to still pay comedians while and then whatever the music acts, they had to do whatever they had to do. I don't know what the thing was at, but I did that for 3 years, and it wasn't the best of shows, and I kind of got a little reputation of like, I would ask people to be on shows and they'd be like, nah.
Yeah, really? People turning down spots?
Because it's just like, it wasn't sometimes to be good, sometimes to be bad. It wouldn't be 100% all the time. And then it took me to do that, to be like, all right, no, I have to stop. I would only do that room because I didn't have to conjure an audience myself. It was just like, I show up, I book the comics, I pay them, that's good, that's it. And I was like, nope, let me just go and just start producing shows myself, being intentional about what I want to do. Let me stop banking off of somebody else. Let me just, all right, if I would need it. And then I produced a show at Hooters for, that was like 2 years, and that was great. And that was awesome. I also produced a couple other shows, but like, it was great. It was awesome. I just ended up putting out way more money, and it was just, I was losing money all the time. And even on the shows that went great, you would have people who didn't laugh, and then they would come up to you after the show and be like, that was fantastic. And I'd be like, fuck you, because you didn't laugh. And or you have those very small shows where you don't get many tickets sold, but then everybody fucking,
I love that. Yeah.
But in my head, I'm still like, I lost money on this, but I mean, I'm just trying to enjoy what I have. So it's like, overall, if I don't have to produce, I'm probably just not gonna produce.
Yeah.
I see somebody like you doing it, and I see the way that how you're successful, and I'm like, dude, I wish I was like even like halfway as like.
I'm very lucky because I run the bar I run the Croak, right?
Okay.
So I use my marketing budget to pay for the Croak shows. So the comics are being paid for marketing, essentially. So that helps, and then it's just on me to make sure we sell enough alcohol to make up that money, and then sell more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is always nice. And then what I started to do, and I kind of got away from this, I'm trying to get it back for like the next show, but I actually got a brewery. I would have breweries do tap takeovers, and they would do buybacks during. So people would have no excuse to not get drinks because the brewery would be buying them beers while they're sitting there. So now I'm making money off of something I already bought by selling it to my people through the person I bought it from.
That's smart.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
But like,
so smart.
I've been running shows at like a couple different breweries, and those are ticketed shows. And yeah, man, we had to cancel one yesterday because we only had 14 tickets sold, and I needed 20 to break even. And I was just like, this sucks, dude.
Wait, so like you didn't want to wait for the door? You could, I mean,
no, not doing that.
I respect. Listen, I respect it. I respected businessman. That's a businessman antics rule. Because like me personally, even if I'm only canceled it like maybe twice in the 2 years that I was doing it, and that was because 0 tickets sold, and it would be like a 50-person room, and I'm like, at least let me get 10 so I could talk to people, Yeah. It's not even like, and most of the time it wouldn't be. We probably sold out within the 2 years of doing the show. Probably sold out maybe 6 times, but that's maybe a quarter of the time. That was like we're doing it, and it's just, it's very discouraging. As a comic, I understand. It's not that I won't produce ever again. It's just that if I don't have to, I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to put more efforts towards just being funny and try and get booked on shows. Yeah, being like somebody who's like, yo, that guy, we got to have him on the show again because his presence, and he looks people in the eyes, which I've been trying to work on.
I've noticed that.
Just trying to
I thought you were flirting with me.
Dude, no, I'm literally.
Okay. I feel let down.
I see you're blushing. I'm trying to.
I know. I have a baseline pink. I know you. I know you don't. But
dude, I just get purple, dude. That's fucking.
I have to. I feel like if I wasn't producing this month, I would have only had like 2 shows, and then like in a couple, like for the next couple months, it's like, all right, I'm producing 3 shows, but I'm on like 7 or 8. Like it feels good to like have other shows. Showing up to another show that I don't have to like remember the spotlight, remember the camera, remember this, remember that, and just show up and just do time.
That's the weirdest thing in the
Dude,
world.
so nice, especially if I don't have to host. Oh my god.
Ah, dude, yeah,
That's so nice.
yeah. I feel like that's where I'm at right now, where it's like a lot of the times I get booked for hosting spots, and honestly, I just take it on the chin as like I need to learn. I feel like
Yep.
there a lot of great headliners have come from great hosts, and I see that in a lot of comics from like Monty Mason is great, and a lot of comics I've seen there's a couple of comics where I've seen like they host, but I've seen their hosting set and be like, why are they not headlining?
Yeah.
You're like, why they should be headlining? They're murdering every time they get on and off stage. So it's like, I feel like if you can learn to host, you can learn to headline, and that's where I'm just trying to head into in terms of just connecting. Like I said, if the jokes aren't working, or even if the jokes are working, make the connection. Bring him in on the joke, because I feel like that's what a lot of comics are just like. I'm gonna just do my jokes. It's like, nah, man. I feel like the best people that are really doing it are like making that connection, and then bringing them in on the jokes.
Yeah.
Because just so it's just not like, oh, that's funny. It's like, no, we had a funny moment. That's and that's what people buy tickets for.
Hell
in my
yeah,
opinion.
that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I think hosting, like I don't love doing it as much because it is harder. But like if you're working on crowd work, like that's the best spot to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
because
is.
you can
It
fuck
is.
around and get people engaged, and not for nothing, but if you're starting the show from scratch, right? You're engaging with them with crowd work, so that tells everybody to like settle down, pay attention, because if you are talking, I am going to interact with you.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Being like I feel like being a host too, it's like almost, how do you start a room? How do you start a room with comedy of just like, hey, a lot of people will be like, hey, just silence your cell phones, keep it down, quiet. We're gonna start the show and now. And then you're just like, all right, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
Do I just tell a joke and hopefully people catch on, or do I just say, hey, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah.
What's your name? It's like, and then now you got people like, oh, well, like, all right, he's engaging with us. We're starting at a ground level. We're starting from all at the same point. Instead of me starting from a random joke, I'm up here and you're down here and you're just like, what are you talking about? Yeah, just fish sticks, just random, dude. It's just, but like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to work on right now. It's just the connection of everything, and it's hard doing that shit because it's, it's just, as a comic, as I think of myself as a writer first, and then like I work hard on writing. I try to write a little bit every day. And I think of myself as a writer, but then a lot of comics, and this is why I feel like there's a lot of hate going on right now in the stand-up world in terms of like, oh, people do crowd work, people are doing like instead of doing, which I feel like it is what it is. Some people are doing crowd work, but if it works for them.
Yeah.
Selling tickets, and what do you
It's also that's what you see on like Instagram, because that's what content they're putting out. But they're trying to get themselves booked and to sell tickets, you know?
Yeah.
But they're not going to put their act on Instagram.
Because people now, they saw their act now.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, I don't have to pay. Even if they go see their act, they're like, oh, well, this was online. I could just sat and watch this online. Then
Exactly. And I also like, you need to put out content, right? So like, the clips from the podcast.
Likeable is brought to you by Stickles Pickles. For when you need something to chew and maybe put between some buns, like on a burger. Stickles Pickles are my go-to snack for anything I do on the road or at home. I like to enjoy Stickles Pickles any time of day. Come down, check out our storefront. Manager Dave Bailey, who also submitted this ad read, he loves Stickles Pickles. Actually, we know David Bailey at 225 192 Main Street in, I'm going to assume Monroe, New York, loves Stickles Pickles. He, every time I see him, he is either got one in his mouth or pulling one out of his mouth. All the brine, all the time. Stickles Pickles, come check them out today. All right, that's the first of our fake ad reads. That was sick. That was only 1 minute long officially. Please follow us on Instagram at Likeable Pod and on YouTube at DavidStickleComedy.com. Also follow Dave Bailey, Mr. at DLB Junior Comedy on Instagram for that submission. And honestly, tell him to get the pickle out of his mouth. What a little goober.
Nice. I don't do a ton of them, but I can't do like the talking head video where I'm just like, hey guys, this is my thoughts on the New York subway system. You know, I can't do that.
Those are blowing up.
Those are crazy. Like a lot of our friends
Yes.
are getting like 10,000 likes and all these reshares because they're talking about what it's like to live in New York City or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, good for you. But
Yeah.
I can't, I have not figured out how to do that yet, you know?
I feel like it's anybody. We could all do it. It's all a sense of just like following a trend. But also it's like, all right, where's your head at? What are you really into? Because after this trend, guess what? It's gonna be another trend. It's gonna be another trend. You're just gonna be following trends eventually, and then one day you're fucking, you're spreading cheeks on OnlyFans. And
It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. And what else are we gonna do next? Is what I'm saying. What are you doing?
It's a talking head video, and then you spreading cheeks.
Talking about New York, right?
Yeah.
Hate the subway.
Yeah, you're just like New York.
Doing the Jim Carrey like New York.
Yeah.
That's so funny, dude.
That's wild. Are you excited for the show later?
I'm super excited. I've never been to Reason and Ruckus. That's the actual name of the venue, right?
Yeah.
Reason and
yeah.
Ruckus. I thought that was just the name of the show, but
Yeah.
Nah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see all the comics on the show. Like, I don't think I've performed. The only person I performed with was Danny.
Word.
So I'm just excited to meet people and make that connection.
Do you know who's headlining?
Kyle. Who's that guy's name you had
Kyle
on the show?
Vincenteri?
Yeah. The guy.
I haven't had him here.
No. The guy who got on here last, what's his name?
Guy had on here which episode?
The last episode.
David Beckles Jr.?
Yeah. He's headlining.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. I fucking blanked on his name. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
He does a British accent. I was listening to all the podcasts on the way up here. You do a great job.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. No,
yeah. David's a wicked nice guy.
Yeah.
He's very cool.
I feel like, dude, I feel like I've met him at Levity before. We've never actually shaken hands or whatever, but definitely in passing. I know, that's where I met. So when you had the show at Levity, we all sat and watched, which killer set, by the way. That was dope
thanks,
as hell.
man.
We all sat and
Didn't
watched.
get me anything. Kind of pointless.
Dude, I mean, listen, it's good to even just have your name on that list.
Yeah. It was. It's probably my most watched clip on my Instagram, and it was probably one of my best tapes that I put out. When bookers or whatever ask for a 10-minute set, that's probably just having that in your background, I think, kind of helps.
It's crazy because I have a tape that I was sending out for a while, but it was at a thrift shop, and I had a really good set, but it was just clothes in the background. Whatever, it's clear, but it's and I'm doing very well, but I feel like comics are gonna be, people who are looking at it, they're like, where are you? Right now? Where
but don't tells are in random thrift shops and stuff like that too, so they don't know.
And that's where it's all right. Would I rather just get me a set from a comedy club, which I can do, but then it's just all right, I could do that, but also it's no, I already have a tape, but. So I stopped using that tape. I just ended up using one from one of the clubs that I was at. And,
okay.
I mean, I haven't really. I mean, I've probably got maybe one acceptance, but I just been trying to send out more tapes. Festivals are mad important. It's hard, dude. I feel like I don't know if it's like this in over here, but I know in New Jersey, there's just it's not like a big hobbyist state.
Hobbyist?
Hobbyist. Like
the comedians are hobbyists?
Yeah. They just
Yeah.
Which is nothing wrong with that, but also it kind of is like I'll see people do it for a while and then they'll be like, oh no, now I'm taking it seriously. And I'm like, dude, you were just making fun of us because we were just talking about we had people like, oh dude, you guys take this man seriously. I'm like, it's not that we take this man seriously. This is what we've been doing for a while, and then you'll get people introduced who are just like, dude, no, I just like to get off work and have a beer and get on stage and do comedy. And then you'll see those guys graduate to be like, no, I'm serious now. And I'll be like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's like those people that like that does drive me a little bit nuts, but also like they have their place in the ecosystem, you know?
Of course, of course they do.
But that, you know, I also don't appreciate it when they get grumpy because they don't get shows, you know?
That's what it is. It's like, I feel like a lot of the times we're like, oh yeah, this person doesn't book me because they don't like me. They think I'm too real, or like, dude, stop lying to yourself. Man.
Yeah.
Stop lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Number one, you're not likable. Number two, you're just fucking like your jokes are like only for open mics, you know. And that's where another thing too. I feel like especially when I was earlier on, and luckily I was exposed to like real stage time in front of real people. Like earlier on, where I like a lot of my stuff was like cringe and like super dark and like super like, damn dude, why you didn't talk about this? Why you talking about that? Like these are regular people, you know. And granted, it's a comedy show, but like, geez, dude, you could just make some jokes about some regular stuff. And I was, you know, doing those jokes in front of the like in front of regular crowds. It opened my eyes to be like, okay, I can have an expansive writing. I can write about, you know, topics that people want to hear. I can also write about dark topics. I can just keep writing about, but like it was earlier on that I peeped that. I was just like, dude, damn, a lot of my stuff, like, granted they're laughing, but like a lot of people aren't enjoying this. I feel like half of the audience, like, it was just like, all right, maybe I should just like keep an open watch on what I'm saying in terms of just like, and that's why it gives you a expensive, because you do clean comedy, right?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. So like you have you can do comedy almost anywhere, and you be surprised how many booked gigs you'll get. Like, yeah. Dude.
Yeah, it's like I think it's kind of I don't know why, but I think when I first write a joke, it's always a pedophile joke, and then, and then all my jokes come from their grandparents are pedophiles, and then the lineage boils down to clean, but it starts out.
It's like pedophile, and then peanuts, it just transforms into peanuts on airlines. Okay, all right, there we go.
Yeah, I have like jokes about like childhood trauma, right? And I'm always like. Always like starts off with like an innuendo to pedophilia, and then because I was never molested as a kid, but it's always an innuendo because I'm like, all right, that's a joke. Like I made a joke, there it is. And then like as I workshop it and like just rewrite, it turns into just like making fun of my grandma, you know. And I'm like, similar joke, but now it's so different.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, a joke can transform, and you learn that down the line that you don't have to say it certain ways. Like I definitely have a bunch of jokes like that where it's just like it started one way and be saying one thing and then be like, I don't gotta say it like that. I could just say it like this, and then end up getting a big laugh, and you'll be surprised what people relate to. It doesn't have to be like super dark for people to catch on and be like, oh, you got me listening. That shock humor stuff is probably it's only good for comics who know what they're really doing, you know.
For sure.
And most comics don't really know what they're doing, especially like when you're coming up like us, like when you're only like I'm like 5 years in right now, so it's like no, I don't know what I'm doing. No, I don't. Nah. For me to be writing the shit that I write, I feel like I get lucky. So you get comics who come in, especially the open mic guys who really are just like, oh yeah, like I said, like they're getting off of work, they're having a beer, they feel like this is the activity that they want to do, and it's just like, oh, this is just some place I saw Kill Tony, and this is what we do, and it's like, this is what comedy is. Comedy is this, and I'm like, first of all, like, no, comedy is a lot of things. You don't get to define comedy just because you saw one thing or the other thing, you know. It's I don't know.
I like you mentioned like open mics and making people like laugh and whatnot, and I have a joke right now where the first time I said it on stage was at an open mic, right? And it made the premise of it just made comedians laugh really hard, and I'm like, this is not going to do good in a show. Like that hurt me so bad. I was like, this is gonna. My joke is I'm 35 and I still live with my parents.
Yeah.
And if I don't get my shit together soon, I'm gonna grow old and die in my childhood bed. It's dark, right? But like
it's so dark and it's so funny.
Yeah, but like I did that in at the Krog like 2 days ago, and that part didn't get that got like a little laugh.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
the next 3 jokes, which were clean, got laughs.
Okay,
You know.
Okay.
And
as long as like that's still a good joke, if you can salvage it through the next 3, like that's like that's the setup.
Yep.
That's okay. That's
fine. I ran it in it's just conveniently did this in Albany last week, and I did that joke, and then the next comic that went up was like, yeah, I laughed, but like that made it real for me, Dave. I was like, shit, like we're all laughing because we resonate with it.
No, that's very true. There's a lot of comics who like are either like still living with, I guess I live with my aunt and my uncle, and that's like my basis of like, dude, if I ever start a sitcom, dude, I got like so much material. I would not have this much material if I lived by myself. Like I would, dude, I have like, and it's like, damn, dude, like it's sometimes it's just like, oh, it's okay. Like it's okay. There's so many expectations of like society, and especially nowadays with like just the economy and stuff like that, dude. It's not that you don't work hard. You're a hard worker. Yeah. Like, dude, I see you working, dude. It's like, it's not like you don't work hard. It's not like if you didn't have like, you had like a regular life. Dude, in my head, I like to think if I didn't do comedy, I'd be driving like a motorcycle. I have like some Ferrari or some shit. I'd be a finance bro. I'd just be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Super jacked. And that's where all my energy would be going to, into nothingness. But instead it's going into, something that's important to me. So
yeah, man, it is one of those things where when I started comedy, I was like, I'm going to put so much effort into this because I ran small businesses for at this point I'm at 11 years.
Wow.
But when I started, it was like 9.5, right? And I was just like, I put so much energy into other people's businesses. Like, I'm gonna treat my comedy like a small little business that I'm trying to run.
That's a very smart way of thinking about it, because a lot of comics don't have that mindset of
Yeah.
just like, oh damn, like, oh, I'm just gonna focus on the jokes. And little did they know, when you go out to these places, people are checking you out and people are looking at you, and you do have to sell yourself like a business, and like whether it be just you being in people's faces, or whether it be just you being a good guy and a good person, whether people just want to be around you and connect with you. Little do you know that matters. And I feel like yeah, dude, I don't know.
Oh shit, he's back.
He's back. He's coming over.
Did he come at you? Oh, he's right there.
Yeah, he's chilling.
There's a spider on the desk.
Yeah, if you guys can't see.
Yeah. The cameras definitely can't see that.
I've had so much growth in my life, dude. If I would have seen that spider like 5 years ago, like, oh my god. That's so funny, dude.
Dude, that freaks me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, you handled that well.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I especially as a kid, I had the biggest arachnophobia, dude. I used to have like, I remember mowing, like having to mow my lawn. Like my mom would make us mow the lawn in the backyard, and we had to go into the shed to get the lawnmower. And I would just sit out there maybe for 2 or 3 hours pacing back and forth, because there would be so many spiders, wolf spiders, daddy long legs, all that stuff. His eyes just on the spider.
Dude, he's right there. Like, I'm watching it. Sorry.
Dude, there's a spider there, but there was also a spider that was coming down right
Word?
there. Yeah.
Aw, man.
But he went over there and it was like, all right, you're fine.
Oh, cool.
It's all the same type of spider though. The spiders are fucking in here, dude.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
They're using
How
this.
could you not?
The spiders are using this as their little fucking studio themselves. Fucking
Little sex dungeon.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to kill him ethically now, which sucks because I really want to. And it would be so easy. He's really getting close. Derailing this conversation. You've been doing comedy for 5 years?
So I've been doing this. It's funny. I just had the conversation with a bunch of comics, and now they don't respect me. I was having a conversation. So I was saying, I've been doing comedy. I first got on stage in 2013. 2013 was the first time I ever got on stage, and that was when I was in high school. I used to do host the talent shows, And every year we would like fundraise. We would get everybody to come out. People used to love our love when I hosted, and we used to raise a lot of money for our senior class. And then my friends were like, "Yo, you should try stand up." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I invited all my friends from high school. We went to the Stress Factory, and I bombed my ass off. It was so bad. I threw out the recording. It was so bad. I'm pissed I did that because that would have been
you want it then and now.
Yeah, but it was and then I did that, and then over the years I fucking took years off. Some years I'll be on, some years I'll be off. So I don't really count those years because I wasn't really like into it. It was really on and off. I really wasn't consistent with it until like late 2019, probably the month right before COVID happened. I started taking it seriously again because I lost my job, and then COVID happened, and then I don't really count the year of 2020 because I got into a relationship, got a girlfriend, plus COVID happened, and it was like fuck comedy. It was like that was it, and then after 2021, I started doing comedies, taking it seriously, like wholeheartedly, and it was like that. So pretty much 5 years. That's what I count. But I told this to a bunch of comedians in the green room. They're like, "Dude, you're lying, saying that you only been doing comedy you've been doing comedy at least say 8 years." And I'm like, bro, I can't tell. I used to just get drunk and hooked up and get on stage. I can't tell you what I was doing in those years. I know at one point I was working overnight. I didn't even get on comedy for years. At one point, at one point I was just in and out of relationships, drinking. At one point I was going to be a rapper. Like, it was so many factors. They were like, "Dude, no, you should be saying that. You should be saying that." And I'm like, it's my journey. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you that I know. This is when I took it seriously. This is when I started being intentional about what I wanted to do in terms of making jokes and not just getting on stage and saying bullshit. This is when that happened. And so 5 years. That's a long ass.
Yeah, no, I love it, dude.
That's a long ass.
What was your rapper name?
Oh, damn. This is embarrassing. Shit.
It's a Likable exclusive.
So it would just be like, I just abbreviate my name, so I put JT. So it's just JT.
Okay. Well, you got that's your Instagram handle, right? JT Comedy?
Yeah. But it's crazy. People still call me JT, but I'm like, when they say JT, I'm like, do you know? Has he heard the music? I thought I deleted all of it. I did. I thought I did. All the SoundCloud stuff. But now that stuff was happening,
it's out there.
Yeah, it probably is in the cloud or something.
I'm actually
like
gonna play it after this episode.
This is gonna be the intro to the song.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, you got my shit, dude. And like, I stopped doing music because
Come back to
this
you.
motherfucker is right here,
Dude.
bro.
I know he's like. It's like so
Did you get
brash.
Did you got some coffee or something like that?
He probably just jumps into coffee grains and like eats something, and
He's like hyper as hell, dude.
This is like Ratatouille, but for spiders.
Yeah, right. Is that even? Does he even have 8 legs? I'm trying to count the.
Actually, you know what?
He's got 8 legs.
Oh, they're just in the front.
Yeah, he's got 8 legs. Yeah.
Arachnophobes don't want to listen to this episode.
Yeah, you don't
Very
want it.
Spider friendly.
It's weird. Now I'm feeling itchy, but I feel like now,
right?
It's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? It's only crazy because I'm like, dude, this is only gonna make me more of a man. I feel like, it's like I survived this episode. Now I can say that I'm not scared of spiders. Dude, I am like, yeah, dude. Like I could put me in a spider place.
This is a Fear Factor meets podcast. It's like, yeah, Dave's podcast is a little different. He locked me in a room with spiders.
Spiders, and he made me talk about comedy.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, just don't get in my coffee, this guy.
I know. That would hurt.
Yeah.
That would hurt real bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. When did you start comedy?
April 2nd is my 2-year.
Wow.
2-year finish. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you can say when you started. I can't say when I actually I don't have any type of anniversary because I don't know. But like this 2 years is solid, dude. 2 years is solid for the work that you're doing, dude.
Yeah, I just had a very they've heard it on the pod so many times, but I've had a very untraditional start. My first open mic was at Laugh It Up Comedy Club, and the booker booked me off of that.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
And were you hosting or?
No, my first set was an opening set for a showcase, which was 6 weeks after that open mic, and then a month later. I was on a show as an opener with Nick Simmons.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
so-
crazy, dude. That's unheard of, almost. Really?
Oh, dude, I have so many comedians who are like, "What the fuck?" And like, you know what's crazy is I try to tell people this, like, you don't know that when you start comedy that's not normal, you know, because like
yeah.
that just happened to me, and I was like, oh yeah, this is I guess what happens. You know?
You
know?
I feel like, especially when I was like, it helped for me being around for so long in terms of getting booked. But even when I really started to take it seriously, I had to like, and even now, I still ask, be like, hey, can I do this show? Can I do this? I will literally go out and ask because I'm just that's what I'm used to, and it's like, especially when I first.
Dude's back again, interrupting. Tell a friend. This is the Interruptible here. I'm going to give you some show dates. Oh my God, this is so exciting. On 3/25, I will be at the Tickles. This will be the day this episode comes out. Holy Toledo on YouTube when it comes out. I'll be at the Tickled Souls comedy show in New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey. That's exciting. On 3/30, I'll be at the Comic Strip in New York City. Peter Stewart's putting me on that. What a great guy. What a great guy. He's actually wicked funny. Very excited about that. On 4/3, I'm going to be doing Don't Tell Comedy in an area, I believe, if you check the website, it tells you the location is New Paltz, New York, and that is very exciting. On 4/10, I'm going to be at Two Way Brewing in Beacon. My man's Salty and Mr. Nicholas Bailey's are putting that on. That's exciting. On 4/11, I'm going to be here at the Krog in Rhinebeck. That's exciting. Come check that out. Free show. Literally no excuse. Don't be a turkey burger. And on 4/14, I'm going to be, I think that's like a Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't really know anymore. That's going to be at Gold Sounds in Brooklyn. That's going to be an exciting show. Alex Bashir is putting that on with Dean David. That's a fucking sick lineup. So I've heard. It's a good room. I'm very excited for that. So Brooklyn, what's up, dude? On 4/18, I'm going to be doing a Sloop Joke Bomb. We had to cancel the last one due to ticket sales. Just to update you guys, I really didn't have to tell you that, but I'm honest. I'm an honest little guy. And then on 4/24, I'm going to be there. Don't Tell All Stars. I'm not on this show that I'm aware of, but this will be a show. All the lineup are comics that have been on Hulu and Netflix and all that kind of shit. Like literally every comedian is a beast. So please check it out, buy tickets, all that wonderful stuff, and get back to the show.
Started, it was like, and people would see my set at open mic and walk out of the room. Like I remember comics who I respected. And granted, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
they were very right for doing so. But it was like, I remember, and then this is why when I see them at open mic, when like newer comedians, they be like, hey man, did you check out my set? I'm like, fuck no, I didn't. And it's not me being bitter, it's just me being honest. Like, dude, when I came up, nobody cared about like, you would just get up and have to do your reps, and then eventually I'll catch you around. And then when I see your set, I'll see your set, and then that'll be good. But like, I never would go up to anybody and be like, "Oh, how's my set?" Because most of the time, people like all the people that I respected, when I got up, they would just be like, "Oh, you know, he's gonna just fucking bomb." And I was, and I had to get that little leeway of just like, let me get up there, let me get through what I got to do, and then eventually figure out, okay, what do I got to do to get these laughs? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But it's such a, I don't know, I feel like it's such a journey that it's just like, you got to take it as an individual. Nobody was in those rooms when I sat down and wrote those jokes. I took the time out of my day to sit down and write. Every day I sit down and take out time to write out these jokes, and it's an individual, you know, grind that you have to get up and make sure I get some mics. And now if I don't do anything, even if I'm not booked on the show, I'm going out and I'm trying to do an open mic, or I'm showing face at a show, because this is just what I do now. You know, I'm a single guy. I don't have kids. You know, what's my excuse? You know, I'm, you know, a little tired. You know, no, man. And guess what? If I don't do it, now I feel bad.
Yeah, you feel guilty, right?
Yeah, now I feel bad.
We're like fucking on the same page on this, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I see, because you're like, at least you're like, yo, if I'm not doing something, at least let me do like 2 pods in a day. Like I see where your headspace is at, where it's just like that's a great place to be. And granted, some people might be like, oh, you work too hard, you need a rest day. Like, no, dude, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to put your head at, it's only going to be better for you in the future. But granted, like, you know, you have to accept the things that come along with your blessings. I feel like, because you're going to get blessed from doing all this, but you're probably going to get a lot more stuff from getting that. And it's probably going to be annoying because now you're on a track of like, all right, now I'm always doing stuff, but it's like, you know, you got to take it with whatever it comes with, you know.
It's like it's interesting because like I still you know, people will tell me like, yeah, you have to still live your life to come up with material. I was like, I still work 40 hours a week. Like I still run a business. I still go to the gym for at least an hour every day. Like
exactly,
you know, like, I'm still out there with real people. You know?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times different comedians are all different. Like every comedian is different to where like there's some who don't even have to fucking try. I know a couple of comedians who are like, who started around the same time that I did, and they have kids, they have families. They only pop out when they get booked on shows. They don't ever come to mics, work a weekly and work on a set weekly. But when they pop out, fucking popping out fire, dude, just fucking ill, just fucking really good at what they do. And it's like, hey, I'm not that comedian. I'm not that. And guess what? I don't think I would want to be in that comedian. I wouldn't want it if I didn't work as hard as I do. Like I love just living this lifestyle, and it's just a part of who I am now, you know. And if I'm not challenging myself, then I'm like, damn, oh man, what am I doing? You know. And I feel like that's only gonna work better for me in the future of just like challenging yourself, putting yourself in more risky situation, because now you're prone to that, and now you're used to that, and now I won't accept anything less than that, because so it's like, yeah, I don't know, it's just my lifestyle. The hard thing about it is, how do I, and this is where like it gets tough, where it's like, all right, what happens when you eventually want to settle down and eventually want to do all these things? Like, I don't see myself having kids or whatever, or necessarily getting married, but you know, who knows? People change their minds.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
Yeah, but I'm okay with also that not happening. I'm okay with just my comedy being my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with that. But also it's like finding, and this is why I see what a lot of comedians also have trouble with too, is where they get into a relationship with a chick, and then now they're like, all right, peace.
Yeah.
That's it. Maybe I found the love I needed.
Because date night is Friday and Saturday night. Same with shows, you know?
Yeah. And now it's like, first your partner is like, oh no, it's fine. But then down the line, it's like, you always do comedy.
You didn't come to my sister's birthday party.
Okay, you're just like, because it's, this is what I do, and this is what I'm trying to. But you said you understood it in the beginning, and it's, no, they don't understand.
Yeah,
they don't really understand what it means.
If you're lucky, you'll find somebody that does. But you know, it's like I don't know. Like I think about the staying at home thing as like a if you stay at home, you know the result of that night. If you go to a comedy club and at least support the show, you don't know the result of that night.
That's very true.
Because like I went to go see a show at Laugh It Up, and this is like what fuels that like that crazy self-belief and all that kind of stuff. I went to go see a show at Laugh It Up, and it was like me and like 3 other comics there, but like we didn't coordinate it. We just showed up, and we weren't even sitting together. But like it was for David Lucas, and the host couldn't make it. So pulled out of the crowd on stage 5 minutes later, you know, and that was just, but like if I stayed home that night, one of those other comedians goes on stage, you know, and
now you can't ever stay home now.
I know.
Now you're just in bed like, oh, David Lucas.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Fever dream, wake up.
Yeah. And like nothing else came from that opportunity other than stage time and tape. But, and it was shitty tape because I had to use my cell phone. But like, if he did like me and wanted to work with me more, like I had an opportunity there. Like one going out created an opportunity, and it's all just about like being ready when your name is called and then being prepared for the opportunity. I think.
That's the main thing is showing up.
Yeah.
People don't understand. People are like, oh, like, dude, how do you like do this, do that, do this? Like, and I'll give people like, and people, I feel like a lot of people don't want to listen to you with, or maybe it's just, they just don't process the stuff. Like, I'll tell people, like, oh yeah, like, how do you do this? How do you get this? How do you get that? And I'll be like, okay. And I'll tell them like, oh, this is how I did it, you know? And this is ground level stuff. Like, I'm not talking about jokes. I'm talking about, hey, I showed up to this place and I just kept showing up to this place until they got me, they started booking me more. And they'd be like, no, but like, how do I like, no, should I just come and hang out at the, I'm like, no, dude, I'm telling you, I'm telling you what I did. So do that. And they're like, no, but like I could, okay. All right. Okay. I told you. All right, dude. Like, and it's, I feel like half of it is showing up. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff I've gotten off of who knows, but I will say like just getting outside my house, making sure that I'm doing something, making sure that even though no matter how far the drive is, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna be there, you know. And it's just like showing up to work, dude. It's just like showing up to work. And even though you may not necessarily be 100% qualified for the promotion, guess what? You show up every day, and some people would rather have the person right there in front of them than hire somebody from the outside who doesn't even know what the fuck is going on. So it's like, all right, let's get this guy who's always here, you know? So it's like, I feel like it's like that almost.
100%.
Yeah, dude.
I have to let you get to your show.
Oh,
Yeah,
was it an hour
4:30. Yeah.
Oh,
It's been,
okay.
yeah, it went by quick.
That's pretty good.
All right, cool. Likeable is filmed and recorded with Radio Free Rhinecliff. Thank you to Jen Hamoud and Matthew Rosenberg, our producers, and thank you to the Epicurean, which hosts us for each and every episode. Come in, stop and shop, and maybe you'll catch us on the air. Likeable is a comedy-based podcast, and we're experts in absolutely nothing and should not be taken seriously. Consider this your daily dose of questionable wisdom. Mr. Josh Tinley, dude, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate it. I love the way you ended that. That was fucking fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude.
Broadcasting.
Yeah, that made me feel like a professional. Oh, dude, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Fucking
there's not
that shit.
spiders in this office. I didn't forget about that.
Dude, that's so fun. This was so much fun, dude. We had so much fun.
Hell yeah.
Definitely would love to be back on whenever.
Dude, yeah, we should do a longer episode.
For sure. 100%, dude. 100%.
Cool.
Whenever you're in Central Jersey, hit me up for sure, dude.
Cool, yeah. I don't know why you're looking at the camera. And you say that.
Hit me up. No, you hit me up.
The viewer.
The viewer and you.
Buy tickets to Josh's shows.
Yeah. Buy tickets to my shows. They're fun. Hopefully you'll like them.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got jokes, yeah, you're insightful.